Happy Wednesday in the fantastic City Hall of Newburyport, Massachusetts. Mayor, thank you so much for hosting this great event to celebrate life, to celebrate hearts, to celebrate Valentine's Day, and also to celebrate the wonderful RMV who does a wonderful job each and every day in registering individuals as organ and tissue donors. Colleen Ogilvie is here. Colleen, thank you so much for coming. Really appreciate that and being part of this important event. Again, Mayor, thank you for having us in your house to bring attention to individuals who've been personally touched by organ donation. My name is Matt Boger. I have the great honor of representing the federally designated Organ Procurement Organization, OPO. It is our job each and every day to help save and enhance lives through what I call the miracle of organ transplantation and the wonderful job that the hospitals here in New England do to save individual lives. We're here today to thank individuals for getting a heart. Get the heart on your license, and that's simply by registering as an organ donor when you get or renew your driver's license, ID, or real ID, which hundreds of people on a daily basis do through the wonderful work of the RMV, the wonderful staff in this area. April does a great job. AAAs do a great job presenting that public health question. Would you like to register as an organ and tissue donor is an important question. It is not a voluntary question. You can say yes or you can say no, but it is not a neutral question. Both the state and federal government strongly supports the idea of registering as an organ donor and presented on a state document that's seen by the vast majority of people here in Massachusetts, here in New England, and here in the United States. In every 50 state, that question is asked. Would you like to register as an organ and tissue donor? I do want to indicate that organ donation is very, very rare. It does not happen often. In fact, you're more likely to need a transplant than to become an organ donor. And the idea of registering, being part of the idea of hope, not necessarily becoming an organ donor, but registering, providing the hope that if you no longer need your organs, someone else can continue their lives through that. And we've got some great stories. Mayor, I know how busy you are in this beautiful town, the beautiful coastal community. Thank you for the second time hosting this great event, celebrating individuals within your community, individuals in the surrounding community, individuals in Massachusetts regarding organ donation. I appreciate you saying a few words. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Matt. It's great to be here today. Great hosting this event again. First of all, I love Matt's energy, man. If I could just follow that up and take that with me every day, I would be very successful in this job. But no, this is such an important thing, and it's funny, this year it becomes even more real when you start talking about registering. You know, it's such an easy thing to get that little red heart on your license. My daughter is a new driver this year and just got her license. So, and we had that conversation about, you know, do we check the box? Do you want to be an organ donor? And I think, now my kids are getting at the age where you do have conversations like that, and the fact that, it might not ever happen, but if something tragic like that happens, the fact that you could have an impact on somebody else's life moving forward is really, really moving. I do have a proclamation. Do you want to do that right now, or do you want to do it at the end, or right now? Why don't we have you go right now? Yes. Okay. Because I am sitting around, so please. I want to know here. Yeah. Whatever. And again, the most powerful thing about this event is hearing those personal stories. So again, I can't wait for those coming up behind me. So again, I do have a proclamation, so I guess I'll just read this real quick. This is presented to the New England Donor Services, honoring Valentine's Day as Have a Heart and Give a Heart Day by registering as an organ donor. Whereas there are more than 104,000 Americans with more than 5,000 in New England currently waiting for a life-saving organ transplant. And whereas there are over 1 million life-enhancing tissue transplants each year that are made possible by the generous donation of corneas, bone, skin, or other tissue. And whereas we can all help to save someone's life and benefit up to 50 recipients by signing up to become an organ and tissue donor, by enrolling in the Massachusetts Donor Registry, when we apply or renew our driver's license, or by registering online at www.registerme.org. And whereas 99.6% of all people in Massachusetts who register to become an organ donor do so at the Registry of Motor Vehicles, it is fitting that Massachusetts surpasses the national goal of signing up 50% of our driving population to become donors. And it's dedicated to making it fast and easy to sign up to save a life through our registry of motor vehicles. And whereas the observance pays tribute to organ and tissue donors and their families, whose decision to donate life enables others to receive life-saving organs and tissues for transplant. Now therefore I, Sean R. Reardon, Mayor of the great city of Newburyport, here in Massachusetts, do proclaim February 14th, Valentine's Day, Have a Heart and Give a Heart Day, encouraging residents to register as an organ donor, and urge all citizens of Newburyport to understand and participate fittingly in its observance. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mayor. Appreciate all you do for this wonderful community. And speaking of someone who's so passionate about the community, I believe your shoes are the color of the community.
This is the Newburyport High School.
Newburyport High School, okay.
The Clippers.
The Clippers, go Clippers. Very, very cool. Thank you so much for doing this and realizing that this small event means something much larger, saving people's lives, and to have each community understand what that is, what we were asking people to do, and that's simply registering as an organ and tissue donor. I actually really like the term bureaucracy, because those are individuals who are getting things done in complex situations. We are pleased to be part of the bureaucracy throughout the United States and having our question presented, again, at the DMV, BMV, or RMV, presenting that to hundreds of people on a daily basis getting that license. Colleen Ogilvie has become a great friend, is a wonderful leader of the registrar. Some people are like, I'd rather not go to the registrar. I think the registrar is a fantastic place to go. Staff are wonderful. I know she might say go online opposed to go to the staff. The staff are wonderful, and it's a great place to go. Colleen, thank you so much for coming here and saying a few words about organ transplantation.
Thank you, Mayor. Happy to be. Welcome, everyone. Happy to be part of the effort here in February to raise awareness for Have a Heart and Get a Heart, as Matt explained, and Mayor Reardon. It's very easy in your interaction with the Registry of Motor Vehicles to say yes to become an organ and tissue donor. That provides legal consent for you to donate your organs if that opportunity arises in the hopefully far future. But it is an important relationship, as indicated, that motor vehicle departments are the largest source of enrollment. And so as you think about your driver license or identification card renewal, and if you don't know when it renews, I suggest you take it out of your wallet and be aware. You can renew 1 year in advance. Now is the right time, if you're not a donor, to think about enrolling. And if you just recently renewed and you said, darn, I forgot about that, I should have renewed, there is an online option for you to enroll as an organ and tissue donor without a transaction, whether it's with us or with New England Organ Donor Services. We are a proud partner of New England Donor Services. We proudly wear many of the t-shirts, promote the signs and the wellness that happens within our service centers, and welcome a lot of families that come and provide support and information to our employees. So thank you for this wonderful event. Thank you for Newburyport for raising such wonderful awareness. And with the thematic part, we are very happy to be here and promote the importance and the need for Massachusetts residents to consider being an organ donor and help us increase our enrollees. So thank you very much.
And thank you so much for your leadership and your wonderful support of being at events like this. She had mentioned the RMV is an important place for registering individuals. That is because 97% of all people in Massachusetts who register do so through the RMV, because that question is presented. Massachusetts is a leader in many aspects of things, and we have the best hospitals, not in the world, but in the universe. I will say Massachusetts has fallen under the registration rate we would like. And so traditionally we want every state to be over 55% of that population registering. Massachusetts right now is at 48%. A registration rate that we think can be overcome by helping to educate individuals and making sure we're answering the questions and realizing that registering as an organ donor is providing hope to those individuals in need. Right now, there's over 103,000, as the mayor correctly presented, 104,000 individuals waiting for a life-saving transplant. That means that they have compromised health. That means that they cannot live a full life. That means that that likelihood of death is coming soon. soon. In New England, that's over 5,000 individuals, and we look at that list each and every day trying to save those individuals' lives. But mostly important is the wonderful results of these situations. I will say before I go even further, you can register at any age. 60, 70, 80, 90 years old, you can register as an organ donor. Registering as an organ donor is not a healthcare choice. It's the opportunity, if you no longer need those organs, someone else's lives could be saved. I'm really excited to introduce an individual who actually just received a transplant and actually at an interesting age as well. Bob, thank you so much for being here and sharing your story.
I want to thank Ned's first for all that they do and all the people involved with it. Without them, many people like me wouldn't be here to tell the story that I'm telling. They are part of the journey, they're part of the village it takes to make this happen. Thank all of you for all that you do every day. It makes a difference to people like me and our families, so thank you. I'm an interesting case because our family had a donor and I'm a receiver. My brother passed 3 years ago and they took his eyes and they gave them to a woman who sent a wonderful letter back to my sister-in-law thanking her for sight. She had dead for a long time. So from that end of it, it's just grateful that my brother's life helped somebody else. On the other side, I've had cardiac issues for many, many, many years, and many procedures and operations and a whole bit, and a congestive heart failure for years. In the summer of 23, my heart failure really started to go downhill, and I ended up in Beth, Israel for some tests that they said, and I didn't go home for over 2 months. I ended up going home with a heart. I can't say enough about the staff of Beth Israel and their program, as well as all the hospitals, that we're so fortunate to be so close to such good health care here in Massachusetts. I went in, ended up within 2 days in CCU, and on September 11th, 2023, I received a heart. Quite a whole evolution of your head spinning and things happening very quickly. And fortunately, you have to be sick enough to need one, but strong enough to get one, and I can go through all these procedures. And they put me on the list, and fortunately I got a heart very quickly. I don't know my donor, but through Ned's, they found the match for me. And I had a long haul with some problems afterward, but 15 months ago I couldn't walk after the procedure, and here I am now. Some days I do 4 or 5 miles a day in steps, and the whole thing's a miracle. It's just, I call it a miracle. Some people don't believe in miracles, but I think for all of us that have been through it and the families, it is, and it's because of the hospital care and the donors and the families of the donors. It's just overwhelming when you start to think about what it takes for all this to happen, and I couldn't be more appreciative of all that worked for me. So thank you for letting me speak, and thank you for all you do.
Thank you, Bob. Really appreciate you sharing that. I maybe I missed it, but you received your transplant when you were 7 years old. You look like you're 35.
70.
70? What is that? So 70.
I was one of the older.
One of the older ones, which through the technology and the work that we do locally and nationally, we want to make sure that everyone who is on that waiting list can continue to live a great life. And you receiving a transplant and sharing a wonderful life is so important. There was a couple of facts there that's true. You need to be sick enough to receive it, thank you for mentioning this, but also healthy enough to receive, to go through surgery. Data shows that 20 people die each day waiting for a life-saving transplant. That is A, people pass away because there's not enough organs available, but B, individuals who are super sick and can't receive a transplant are taken off the list. If they are not healthy within several months, the likelihood of them passing away increases dramatically. So it's important to note. I do also want to recognize another state agency, the Massachusetts Department of Public Health. We really appreciate the collaboration we do with them. Last year, right there, we had 2 big billboards, I apologize, in Springfield and Revere, educating people, reminding individuals to register as organ and tissue donors. I guess you can debate whether billboards work or not, but we did that. I also want to thank the governor and the entire state for creating a website to simply register as an organ donor. That's mass.gov/organ donor. Mass.gov/organ donor is a way you can easily go and register. If, like me, you don't want to go to the RV, I always want to go to the RV. We have another individual here to share her story, Stephanie, and I think Valentine's Day means even something more special to her.
My name is Stephanie McCarthy. I want to thank the city of Newburyport for hosting the event today. My journey to organ donation was 343 days ago, and I received a heart transplant at Massachusetts General Hospital. That was after a lifetime of cardiac issues. I was born with a congenital heart defect that required open heart surgery at 6 weeks old. It wasn't until I was 28 and had a heart attack and got diagnosed with heart failure that having a transplant was a real possibility. After going through testing, like my friend over here, I decided to put in a pacemaker on February 14th, 2023. It was 1 year later exactly that I got listed for my heart transplant. I was only on the list for 3 weeks, fortunately, and then the past 11 months have been filled with recovery from that surgery. And over the past 11 months, I've been able to participate in the Needs 5K in October, 6 months post-heart transplant. I've been able to spend time with family and friends and celebrate a birthday that I didn't think I'd make it to. None of that means anything without my donor. Like my friend, I don't know my donor right now, and that's okay because they live beside me every day. And I get to thank them silently for the gift and the second chance as now a 33-year-old woman who has the rest of her life to do what she can. And being able to shine a light on organ donation is something that is near and dear both to my new heart and my old heart. And so I really appreciate everything Needs does to make sure that people like myself get where they need to be. Thank you.
I never met my hero, but they live inside me. Oh, wonderful. That's great. Living to get another birthday, that's pretty amazing. And as you point out, there's 2 sides of transplantation. There's people who receive this wonderful gift, and the other side of the donor family. Carol, if you don't mind sharing your story real briefly, we would appreciate that. You're one of our fantastic volunteers, and we'd love to have you. Sure.
Matt likes to hold my picture because, can you see? This is our donor. So this is Ethan, and Ethan was 11 months old, our beautiful grandson, and while we went to visit them in Monterey, California for Easter, along with his brother Christopher and his mom and dad, we decided to take a day trip. And in a split second of time on that day, our lives changed forever. We were on a train in a redwood forest, and the baby fell asleep in his dad's arm, and the train stopped halfway up the mountain, and they urged everyone to get off. And up to that point, every decision we made that day put us on that train in that seat. And we went to get off the train to see and touch the redwoods as they suggested. We were the last ones getting off, and the minute Scott stepped off the train, I remember a gust of wind, people screaming, and the baby was hit in the head with a living redwood tree. MedFlight took him to Stanford University, where he had the most wonderful care, and we prayed for a miracle, that he would live and be the same little boy he was. And then our prayers turned to, please let them find an organ donor for his organs. It was quite a number of days, 3 days that we prayed for him to live, 3 days that they searched for a donor. But when they found the organs. Sadly, no one needed his heart. And they reminded me that that's a good thing that nobody that little needs a heart. But his liver went to a little boy the same age, and his 2 kidneys went to a 55-year-old man in Pennsylvania. And we just thought finally something wonderful is coming out of this unbelievable tragedy. So I tell the story. It was in my grief that I realized that the same day that we were praying so hard for him to live and be the same little boy, those recipients were praying just as hard, and he was the answer to their prayers, and we were lucky that God led him to us for that short time. And I tell the story hoping that if just one person thinks about it and becomes an organ donor, Ethan's legacy lives on. And I've been doing it for 25 years, so he's touched more in his short life than I've ever touched in mine. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Take your heart. Carol, thank you so much for sharing that. Carol and I often go to nursing school to share that story, and having individuals who are in healthcare who understand the other side of that is so important. Again, 2 sides of organ transplantation. The people who are alive today wear shirts like that to share their appreciation, and donor families who miss them each and every day but realize that their loved one is living on. Another story is to tell someone part of this community. CJ is here to share. Right behind. Okay, there we go. Go ahead.
So a young gentleman, his name was Dominic Golston, and he, at 16 years old, he got his driver's license, and he went to the R&B in Connecticut, and he registered to be an organ donor. Fast forward 12 years later, Dominic had 2 children, 2 young children, and a family, and Dominic struggled with mental illness the entirety of his life. On July 10th, 2020, Dominic decided to end his life and committed suicide. At the same time, I was at Tufts Medical Center in Boston, praying for the opportunity to extend my life. Dominic's heart was transplanted into me on July 13th, 2020, and Dominic and I will ride together. Everything I do with Dominic right by my side. Beating, there's an actual heart beating inside of my chest, pumping the blood through my veins. I had the great opportunity to meet and build a relationship with Dominic's family, who were deeply, deeply saddened by the loss. Not every donor family reciprocates an opportunity to have a relationship with the person that their loved ones' organs are donated. And fortunately for me, the father of my donor did that right away. We built a relationship right away. He was a great human being. And his mother, it took a while. It took over a year for her to make the decision to reach out to me, and which she did. And we built a very strong relationship since then. Everything, before I had this heart transplant thing, I was just a guy that went to work every day and raised my family as good as I could. But after the transplant, I felt a huge responsibility to Dominic and his family to extend his life. And every opportunity that I get, I send that message out about who Dominic was and who Dominic is now. And I've been able to do some great things in the community, all because of Dominic. And all because when he was 16 years old, he went to the registry and he decided to be an organ donor. Thank you very much.
Thank you for sharing that story, CJ. I've known you for a while. I think that's the first time I've heard this whole thing. So thank you for sharing that. Very, very powerful. Before we close, again, I want to thank the mayor and the whole city of Newburyport, including the individuals who are the
I'm the public health.
Public health, there we go, even better, public health, awesome. Part of public health and the school committee, Andy Bover is here to help support as well. We did just hire an individual for youth education, Seth. So reaching out to individuals of all ages who are getting their driver's license or engaging with the RMV. I do want to give a little bit more clarity of who we are if there is need for clarity. We are the federal organization. We are 380 individuals strong. We are the men and women of yesteryear in that we are on call 24 hours, 400 days a week. And I understand it's a little bit of a joke, but it is not. Our mission is to help save lives, period. And also to continue the legacies of those who want to become organ transplantation. I've got a lot of members of our staff here who do a wonderful job, and we are very focused on data. We appreciate everyone's work to help educate individuals to become registered donors. Thank you again for presenting that question. Thank you again for the state for creating a website. But telling this story outside of the general public to your friends is an important thing, talking to individuals about it. Organ donation is not about death. It is about the opportunity of life by getting the heart on your license. Before I close, I do want to introduce one of our great new hires, Jim Roderick, who worked at Harvard University, has PhDs up and down the credentials. I'm going to say a few words about the data and statistics. Thanks, Jim.
I'm actually not going to talk about data. Matt's already given you the numbers. We have over 4,000 here in Massachusetts alone waiting for their gift of life. We have just a tremendous team at New England Donor Services who maximize every opportunity to recover organs from those who have checked the box to organ donation and to transplant those organs. It is a miracle, transplantation. We heard the stories today, and it's the ultimate team sport to make this happen. As the three individuals told you behind me, there are surgeons, there are cardiologists, there are nurses, there are specialists that they've interacted with who have helped make this possible. There's the entire team at New England Donor Services. But a big part of that team that makes it all happen is the general public. It's all of us who, for whatever reasons we have inside of us, decide that we want to say yes to organ donation, so that our organs and tissues, when we pass, can benefit others for years. And we're not only improving the lives of the people whose stories you heard today, we're improving the lives of the people who love them, their spouses, their children, their siblings, their friends. Because by giving them life, we have given hope and extended life to their extended family and friends as well. So please, check the box, say yes to organ donation. Thank you.
I appreciate that. The other reason I called Jim up is his wife allowed him to buy that purple jacket. I want to show it off. He looks good in purple. The message is clear. Have a heart and get a heart. Register as an organ donor, either at the wonderful RMV or go online. I want to thank everyone for sharing their stories. I want to thank this group, whether you spoke or not, being part of the NEDS team, which is the life team, and appreciate Mayor, this wonderful place. I also do want to thank the media for being here. There's a phrase, if a tree falls in the forest, does it make a sound? It does if there's someone there to capture that and share that with the greater community. Jim said it much more eloquent than I can. Bring this out to the community and share the power of the simple act of registering. We stand alone drastically from every other important public health issue. Cancer, AIDS, COVID, etc., and that we stand apart in two ways. A, when we talk about donation, we're not talking about a financial donation, we're talking about register as an organ donor. And B, we're also not looking for a cure. We know what that cure is, and that's to utilize an organ that someone else is not using to continue that individual's legacy into an individual who's alive today and appreciate that. So, fun Wednesday. You do have have 2 more days for Valentine's Day. Make sure you get your loved one a heart. Everyone here, I've got a little present for you of candy hearts, whether you like it or not, you can give it away. The RMV staff has been getting a lot of these because they do such a great job. And if you don't mind, we had a few people coming late. I'd love to do one more great picture, but really appreciate it.